Okay, here we go. Episode 5. We're excited for this one after a brief hiatus. We are back, and we have Brandon Blas joining us. Did I say that right? Blas?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Like lip gloss, but Blas. That's the way Anthony
Yep.
told me to say it.
Yes.
I think that's a
Yeah,
word.
that's correct.
I said like boss.
Like
Like
Blas.
boss.
Okay. Quick intros, of course. I am here proudly representing U of O, the Dolphins, and 12th place in the league. Anthony, if you want to introduce yourself.
Gotta go from the bottom to the top, I should say. At number 1, Anthony, the regulator.
And eighth place. My name is Brandon. And eighth place.
All right, before we even get into this, Tyler, I gotta ask. All right, we gotta bring this up. Brandon has just created one of the best team names I've seen in a long time. Brandon, did you come up with that yourself, or
I
expand on
did.
your team name? What is it, and explain to our fans how you came
So
upon it.
so like I don't know. I wanted something with Metcalf. Because he's like my favorite player on the team right now.
I have
And
DK Metcalf country in a different league. I'm a big fan of that
oh
one.
yeah. I know I wanted something. I don't know, it's just a thing with me. I didn't want something where someone else created,
Hmm.
So, and then when you started doing this podcast, like everyone had a team name, and mine was just like my username. So I wanted to come up with something. And I think one day I was on it for like 2 hours. I was looking on the internet, and I didn't want something like too common. And then I just kind of put it down for a second. And then, like literally, what was it? A couple of days ago, I switched it to kicking it with Claypool because I saw the TikTok where he got in a little scuffle and he kicks. I didn't see the kick. To Anthony's credit, he pointed it out. I was like, Anthony said he was gonna get suspended and stuff because he kicked somebody. I was like, I didn't see nobody get kicked, and then he said, no, he kicked someone in the middle of the pile. And then I said, kicking it with Claypool because Claypool's on my team, and hopefully he don't get suspended. I'm counting on him. So
Was this during the season, or was it something that recently happened? Because to be honest, I actually didn't understand the reference.
think it happened what, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's really recent. It was a
Yeah,
couple weeks ago. It was a little bar fight outside. There's a scuffle, and there's a
Oh.
guy on the ground, and he
yeah.
just goes over and kicks the good dude in the face.
Yeah, Claypool was clearly intoxicated. Like he was like stumbling, trying to push people, But yeah. Hopefully, I don't know if he does get suspended. Hopefully, it's not too long. So
Hmm. The
I
more
mean,
you
can't be
know.
worse
Literally
than
didn't even hear about this.
yeah, it can't be worse than some of the other. Someone kicked. Who's that? Kareem Hunt kicked someone in a
Oh yeah,
girl.
push a
Yeah,
woman down and then kicked her. Yeah.
yeah, and he's in the league. So I'm crossing my fingers for Claypool. So
Antonio Brown, who Tyler, stands behind as a stand-up citizen, and ended up taking him on his team.
yeah, yeah.
All I'm, hey, you know what? Is
So a minor
misunderstood.
kick to the face in Tyler's book, that's nothing. That's like child's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different levels. I suppose the Claypool's level is at least on the more tame end compared to some of the others. So that's good.
Yeah.
Watch the NFL is very inconsistent though. They might suspend him for like 3 years for this atrocity.
Oh my God.
So
He's a rookie. He made a mistake. An
Yeah.
honest mistake. That foot came out of nowhere.
yeah, lion got out of the cage. I understand. I've
Yeah.
been there myself, obviously. So let's talk a little bit about the draft. Let's just jump right into it. And I think we've already touched on this for a second, but I think we'll just go over the whole draft here, and then we'll kind of talk about transactions and that kind of stuff here. But yeah, Brandon, just walk us through the draft, starting with again. So we had our startup draft, so all players were available, not just the rookies. This was the startup draft that began last
Mhm.
year, and let's kick it off with your very first round top pick in our tight end premium, George Kittle. What were you thinking there, and then we'll kind of go from there.
To be honest, I was thinking I didn't want Anthony to get him. That was my main reason, and it was a tight end premium league, and he went off the year before,
Hmm.
so I just wanted to lock him up. And I was just feeling him at that particular moment in time. So
And when you're
You know,
saying you
Brandon, I
didn't
don't
want
think you were
Anthony to
wrong.
get him, and then later didn't you trade him directly to Anthony? Isn't that what happened?
Correct. Yes, that is
Interesting.
exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
use him as a bargain chip. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm sure a lot of people and managers were thinking the exact same thing. What does Anthony want?
What does Anthony want? Let me take this away from Anthony so I can give it
Yeah,
to him later for almost free.
Oh no! What are you able to pull up the trades? What
Yeah,
did we
we'll get
trade
there.
for? I
We'll
don't even
we'll get
remember.
there. We'll touch on the trades because
Yeah.
you did a lot of trades for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Brandon, you trade with 75% of the league. Like, yeah, we'll get there.
which is
Yeah.
good, which is good. There's the high end of the spectrum, which I think is absolutely you in terms of number of trades or managers that you've been involved with in trades, and then there's a handful of people who have like made zero trades or almost none. So I think that's pretty good. But swinging back around, then you took Tyreek Hill in the second, and then Metcalf. So you locked up your wide
Hmm.
receivers, and yeah, just tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about those, and we'll just keep running down the list for a second.
Okay. So I thought Tyreek Hill was the best player at the time. To take all the premier, scoring quarterbacks were already taken. So I decided to take a high level wide receiver. As you can see, all the good premier running backs were already taken at the time as well. So I decided to lock up a good wide receiver. And then coming up to Metcalf in the third round, that was a stretch for me, but I didn't want to risk anyone else grabbing him. That being his second year, or this last year being his second year, and I wanted to lock him up because I felt like if I let him go past that, someone might snatch him up. But I think for me, it was definitely a stretch to grab him that early
Hmm.
at that time.
I
So
think you had to reach for him. I mean, you see AJ Brown right behind him, and you see DJ Moore,
yeah,
and I think he's right up at that caliber. So if you didn't got him
yeah,
there, I don't think you would have got him at all.
Well, I think that was
and like
probably
I
the right
think
pick.
since
I think that was
yeah,
good.
and I think since it's a dynasty league, I was thinking of like the younger guy, right? So I wasn't thinking of like getting like someone like Omari Cooper or Odell Beckham, who's already kind of older. I
Hmm.
was thinking of getting someone who's young and upcoming at that pick. So
Does the thought enter your mind at all? First of all, it's a dynasty league. You've mentioned it. You know, he's a
mhm,
younger player, got a lot of promise, and I think obviously that
mhm,
is aligned with some good dynasty strategy. Do
mhm.
you think that the fact that the majority of the people here are based in the Pacific Northwest or around the Seattle area, do you think there's any sort of Seahawk bias at all in grabbing a high profile Seahawk that might hold more value or
100%.
100%?
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, I'm all my picks are kind of based on like who I know, right? So like if I see DK and I know he's going to be good, even though, if you look at a website and they say DK's not a third round pick material, I think he is because I like him. I've seen him the year before and he plays for my team. So it's just, easier to root for him, or root for him to do good. So,
Hmm. That's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
Okay. Um,
at least for me, my thought process. So,
oh, I'm with you. I think that obviously like I'm biased towards the players that I care the most about. Any of the
mm.
Dolphins and
Tua.
um,
Tua.
Tua specific. We'll talk about that.
Sorry.
But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I think that plays a huge factor, especially in a dynasty league where we're all, like I said, most of us are in the Pacific Northwest. So then you got David
yeah,
Montgomery, locked your quarterbacks up, Rodgers and Garoppolo. We're kind of just going down the list here. I'm
yeah.
curious, without naming any player like specifically from like your team, can you recall looking at the draft, and we've got it up on the screen right now, were there
Mhm.
any individual picks that were made like either right before you or within a couple of picks where, maybe you were targeting that player and you remember like literally just missing out on them by like one or two picks and that really hurt you or stuck out to you?
Yeah, let me see. Oh, let me pull it up on my screen because I do know there was a few, and I kind of I see if I can remember now. I'm looking at it on my screen.
Hmm.
Uh,
And you on both sides of you were Jasper and Johan, so they had the opportunities to snipe you. And you were actually also right in the middle as well, so
yeah.
you were pick
Let's
five
see.
right there in the middle of being able to get sniped.
Yeah, so this in the 7th round, right? Yeah, 7th round. I wanted Rojo. Anthony took him a few spots ahead of me. I went for Mark Ingram. Then I was thinking Kareem Hunt. So I didn't really want Mark Ingram. I knew he was the starter, but after the first game, he wasn't. Um, so I wanted Rojo. I wanted, like a younger running back. Who else? Let me see. Um, I think I wanted Matt Stafford over Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers was just older, even though he is good, and I kind of regret trading him at least last year. But Matt Stafford, let's see. And then definitely Tua and Baker in front of Jimmy G. I didn't want Jimmy G at all. He was just the best available to me at that time. So definitely those picks. Like the middle rounds were definitely. Oh, Darren Waller too, right there. Anthony snatched him, and I wanted him instead of Austin Hooper because I remember watching Hard Knocks and they were just glowing about him, and then he got snatched up. So
If I
I think
recall,
hands
I feel like
down that was like my best pick, and Jasper also wanted Darren Waller.
yeah,
I'm actually surprised to see Waller going that late. I'm looking at a couple of the picks ahead, and I guess there's some okay ones, but I'm looking at myself. Jalen Rager, I could have taken Darren Waller. Oh no, moves like that.
yeah,
And Waller had a good season this season before, so it wasn't like he was an unknown. But I think probably he was entering this previous season, and the question was like, is he for real? Was this a fluke? Is he actually that good? And newsflash, he is actually that good. He's a freaking beast.
Feel bad for the managers who took Hayden Hurst and Evan Ingram before him.
Yeah, Evan Ingram, I can kind of see that just because he's like real streaky, but
yeah, Evan Ingram's a disaster. We went in depth on Ingram on Johnny's podcast. I would say it's a love-hate, but it's just a hate Evan Ingram relationship.
Yeah, 100%. I think I just like him as a player. Like he's a faster tight end, so I can see the potential. But yeah, as far as scoring goes, it's yeah.
Okay. Anthony, do you have any questions you've got for Brandon about the draft? Anything we didn't touch on?
So going into the draft, Brandon, did you have like any particular strategy? Was it kind of just play off of feeling and gut, or leading into it, what was really kind of your mindset?
To be honest, I don't really ever have a strategy for anything. I'm just like a wing it person. So I do go on feel. I mean, I do, I'm not saying I just kind of look at the board. I do kind of like do a little bit of research, but it's not to the level of where I should be doing it, especially for the Dynasty League. Like this is big time. So I should have definitely did a little bit more, but like that Noah Fant pick, like I liked him, and I didn't think anyone knew who he was, and I still kind of reached for him, but it's just stuff like that. I just kind of, if I like a player and he's on the board and I don't really have any position in need, I'll just grab what I need. I think though my main thing was, since it's a super flex, that if Mahomes was gone, I was gonna go for position players first. I think Mahomes only target for quarterback, and then if he was taken, which he was, if he didn't fall to me, then I was gonna go position first. So
Right.
Anything else on the draft?
No, I think I really want to get into Brandon's trades.
Yeah, so let's we'll move that up. We'll just go into transactions here, and Anthony, let's walk us through the first one while I bring it up on the screen. But we'll start from the first because you had a lot.
Yeah, Brandon. So I have to ask you. You started out with a pretty decent roster, to be honest, and like you had MVP, Aaron Rodgers traded away, Kittle, Tyreek. I think looking at it, there's probably about 80% of your roster that is no longer on your team, and you traded with 75% of other managers.
You made 11 trades.
I got 11 trades with an all complete, again, 75% of the entire, like I think 9 out of 12. So I'm just curious. Overall, do you feel like this made your team stronger or weaker in hindsight after it plays? And then don't worry, we got tons of questions after this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's like that first trade right there. You mind scrolling up a little bit so I can
The
see
first
that?
one actually was this LaShawn McCoy, and Anthony and I were trying to figure this out. I think we did this just for dollars. I can't remember. This was between me and you, and it literally just says I lose Sean McCoy and you gain Sean McCoy. So I think I just gave you dollars for sure, or you gave me probably not even that much. I think I was probably just
Yeah, I don't.
looking to get rid of him.
To be honest, I don't remember that.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy is not very memorable anymore. But you followed that one up with one of the biggest trades of the year for sure. So you traded with Anthony, and
Oof, that's rough. Holy shit! I didn't realize I gave him 2 first round. Oh, I guess it's they're later on.
Well, so okay, yeah, this happened in August, so I can't remember when week 1 of the season was. Was this before the season started or not? Do you guys remember?
I believe the season starts in like September, so this has to be the season.
Yeah.
So you send away Garoppolo, Tyreek Hill, Kittle. So this was your first and your second round pick. And not only was it your first and your second round pick, but it was your first and second round pick in the entire league. So you're basically saying this is the 5th overall player and I guess the 17th overall player, if maybe 18th, if my math is right, for Tyreek Hill. And 2 first rounders, and then I guess Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of a throw-in. You do get back big talent. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is big talent, and then Miles Sanders heading into the previous year. I think he was somewhere around, I want to say maybe running back 7 or 8 or something. He was young. He was on the Eagles. This was before the Eagles had a terrible season, where Sanders kind of lost a lot of value and took a big hit there. But he was coming off of a really strong rookie year. So I think maybe at the time this didn't look so rough. I think the biggest thing that's exceptionally rough looking at it now is those 2 first round picks. And I think being new to a dynasty league, kind of like how does one measure the value of those first round picks, especially kind of early on? And I think, speaking frankly, not to put you on blast or anything like that, I think this is maybe an example of one where it's like, ooh, we didn't quite realize how valuable first round picks are just yet.
100%.
When you made this deal.
I think I still don't value the the picks, to be honest. Only because like rookies, like you don't know how good they're gonna be, to me, I think that's why I did it. And like, who knows what, like, if they're gonna be good or not. So I think I just threw those in. My thought process, now that I'm looking at it, I didn't want Jimmy G at all. Like, I didn't want him, so I needed to get rid of him. I needed a good young quarterback, which Deshaun Watson was. And so I wanted Watson. Miles Sanders is a good young running back, and I wasn't satisfied with Montgomery, and then who was, I don't even remember who my second one was.
Ingram, I think.
Yeah, Ingram. Yeah, that wasn't going to cut it. So I think I just wanted those 2 premier players, and I was willing to give up, obviously, the farm for it. And I knew Kittle was kind of injury prone, and
Which
think
did prove
I don't
to be
know.
the case.
Was this? Yeah.
You did not lose out on Kittle this year.
And then was this before or after Tyreek Hill was suspended?
This was after, because he was suspended the previous year. So so this the 2020 season he had served the suspension, and I think it was only a couple of games actually. And I believe he finished as wide receiver either 1 or 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that trade I don't specifically 2. Tyreek Hill, I wasn't looking back at it, I should have kept him, but I think since the season he's had previously, I thought they were going to focus on him more, and he still scored points regardless, so that was a mistake on my end.
I mean, if you're looking at raw points, though, Deshaun Watson, Miles Sanders, Cole Kmet, those 3, I'm pretty sure put up more points than the 3 I got. But yeah, I think it's the first rounds that were weighed a little heavier.
Yeah, I don't think I even played Cole Kmet at all that year. I think that was just a throw-in.
I think Cole Kmet's on my team.
Did you trade him away? Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure you traded him away.
I think he's no, I think I picked Cole Kmet up, because he traded me Fant at some point, but I picked Cole Kmet up at
Yeah.
some point, and
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty excited about it now. I think he's got some promise, but at that point he's a rookie, tight end that may or may not be getting playing time. It's kind of hard, like there's a lot of players where Cole Kmet's a perfect example where you might not see anything of them for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know this about like George Kittle, but I wouldn't be surprised if I looked back on like George Kittle's card, which I'll do here in the
Mm-hmm.
moment and see if I'm completely wrong. It looks like he started in 2017. Literally didn't play, I guess, or
Yeah, I think it was
maybe.
the third year he performed, and I think he was drafted in like the 5th or 6th round too.
Yeah, Buddy came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it was the second year. So his second year, 2018, actually. So he goes from plays 15 games, scores 100 points, so not that much per game, and then following season just turns into an absolute beast. 2018,
Yeah.
strong 2019 season. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely examples of a player that needs a season or two to get cooking for sure.
So I got a question for you guys. Let's see. Brandon, you drafted Adam Troutman, and Tyler, you picked up Adam Troutman, who's the tight end for New Orleans. And then he ended up on my team. Would you guys rather have Adam Troutman or Cole Kmet going into next year?
I feel like it's pretty close, and I'm not just saying this to massage your ego or throw shade at you in any other way, but I think both of them. I mean, literally, I know we're talking about Troutman and Komet here, but like neither one of them have done anything. They're just I think somewhat hyped physical specimen type project players, and that you're excited to have them on your team, but they're a lottery ticket. I mean, they're not even the 10th best tight end going into the season, and you're hoping they can turn into a Kittle or something like that. But those are outliers. I think they're even.
Bro, I didn't even know I think I didn't even know I drafted him. I think after Corey Davis, the 16th round, I put it on auto draft. I'm
Corey
pretty
Davis,
sure I
by the
did.
way, was a great pick. When I was scrolling through your draft and I saw Corey Davis right there, and then Corey Davis,
Yeah.
he just signed with the Jets. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
I'm
he's
hoping he's
their,
a
I think
wide
he's their
receiver
number
one.
one. He
I'm
should
Yeah.
be.
hoping.
Yeah, he should. I mean, I got Mim, so I would root for him, but I'm pretty sure Corey Davis is, yeah.
And he's a big target, man. He's 6'3", like, and he's still pretty fast. He's young, so
He had a good season. He almost scored 200 fantasy points. So
yeah.
it's a good season for Corey Davis, and like you said, he's still young. And they should have probably Zach Wilson heading to New York. So some promise there. Okay, you made a lot of trades, so we got to zoom through these a
Yep.
little bit. Your next trade
Hmm.
was with Lee. Looks like it was Ben. You added Ben Roethlisberger and Amari Cooper, sent away Aaron Rodgers, Austin Hooper, and David Montgomery. Walk us through that one.
I think I'm just trying to switch it up at this point. And it's weird because like after, you watch the football games on Sunday, like I don't know, I felt more depressed about my team every week. So I just try to switch it up to where I would feel better about it. Um Aaron Rodgers trading him away was a mistake, but I was thinking of the future at that point, trying to get someone younger. Even though Big Ben ain't young, I think I was using him as a stepping stone to like trade away again to someone
Mm-hmm.
who would want him. A lot of trades I make is like not necessarily like who I would want.
Mm-hmm.
It a lot of them is like seeing the needs of like other people and like if I see that like you need a quarterback. Um
Maybe like a 6 foot Hawaiian
Yep,
left-handed laser rocket arm quarterback from played
yep,
at Alabama maybe.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so like let's say you need a quarterback and I'll get a quarterback not necessarily that I like, but I know that he plays and he's putting up points. I'll try to get that quarterback so I can try to trade with you, someone on your team that I would want, like a running back or something like that. It's not the best strategy. I feel like
It's a strategy.
yeah, I mean, it's it works out sometimes, but as you can see, I did make a lot of trades, so I was trying to plan, and a lot of since it's a dynasty league too, I try to trade for the future too, so I'm trying to get younger and stuff like that, or at least get someone who would be good trade value over the next couple years or something like that. So
All right, all right. So a few more trades to go through. Looks like you traded away Ben Roethlisberger right after you
yeah,
acquired him. 2 days later,
yeah.
acquired Kirk Cousins and a second round pick. I would say you probably came
Hmm.
out ahead there.
Yeah, I mean, I just got younger, even though Kirk Cousins kind of sucked. At least I feel like he did.
Hmm.
I just wanted someone steady at my quarterback position and not worried about Ben, breaking his ankle or throwing out his shoulder
Well,
or
I think,
whatever.
yeah, I
So,
think a second round pick is going to have reasonable value. I think probably after the second, that's where there's, absolutely you're just throwing a dart and, hoping for the
yeah.
best there. But a second, like you should be actually be able to get somebody you're reasonably excited about. So I think that has value there. And then Kirk
Hmm.
Cousins, I think it's reasonable to say Kirk Cousins probably has at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years left in the league.
Hmm.
Whereas I think
Hmm.
probably Roethlisberger, this is probably his last year, maybe one more,
Yeah.
but either 1 or 2 years left for Roethlisberger. So I think that one worked out. Moving on, I think this is probably we've seen some bad lopsided trades in the league, and I think this is one of them. Absolutely fleece the bejesus off of Chris.
I was
Uh,
How'd you do it? How did
I
you
was
do
so
it?
surprised, bro. I don't know if he fat fingered it or something. And I'm like, I was like, I just threw it in there. Like, hey, I think he needed a tight end. Jordan Reed did like had one good game, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm just gonna trade him. I had Fant, at the time, and I was like, Fant's doing great. So I think I just threw it in there. He had a good game. Chase Claypool had
I
one
wonder
good
if
game
that
too.
must have
So
been when Kittle got injured, though. Now I'm thinking about it.
yeah, I
Reed did
think
have a
so.
couple of good games. That's just a huge mistake though, because yeah, I mean, what's Chris gonna do with half of a season of Jordan Reed? Um,
Yeah,
and maybe this was before Claypool went off, and I think it probably was. He had a couple of good games. I think he just didn't know who
yeah.
Chris Claypool was, or Chris Claypool, God, Chase Claypool was, and was just hoping he could catch lightning in a bottle with Reed for a short amount of time. Error on
Yeah.
Chris's part for sure.
Yeah, I'm still holding out on Claypool though. He is very streaky. Like when who was that? Deontay Washington came back, he was basically non-existent. So
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see when their wide receiver core is healthy. It can go either way.
Hmm.
The Steelers. So
You made another trade on the same day. You're in
yep,
these fast and furious wheeling and dealing
it was
sprees
like
here.
2 hours later too.
Yeah, not even 2 hours later, different trade. You trade away Higby for Mark Ingram, an interesting
Yeah.
move. Or no, you add Higby.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, not bad. And then 2 days after that, you're still on that trading spree. You got the itch. You acquired Daryl Henderson for
Mm-hmm.
you trade away Amari Cooper and the second round that you got from Sam. Walk us through
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
kind of. So that one was kind of. Daryl Henderson was like the Rams' good running back for a while, and I think in my other league I picked up Malcolm Brown right away because he had like the first game. Malcolm Brown had like a really good game, so I picked him up. I think I almost spent like half my allowance on him. Then he did shit, and it was just Daryl Henderson um, scoring the points. So I wanted him in this league, and I don't think I put two and two together that Cam Akers was actually the one who was going to get most of the carries when he was healthy. But I didn't like Amari Cooper at the time either. I just he was. I think I just had him as a chip to trade away, and I don't know why I did this the second round pick. I think I think he declined it straight player to player for
Hmm.
Henderson for Cooper, and so I just gave him a pick because, like I said, I didn't value the picks like I should have. So
All right, all right. Huge trade, huge monumental
yeah.
trade. Apple of my eye. You acquire Tua
Mm-hmm.
Tagovailoa for Tyler Higbee, N'Keal Harry, and your 2021 first. So that
Yeah.
one goes to Johnny. Extra story towards this, as you know, so you don't have your pick anymore. It went to Johnny. Johnny eventually
Mm-hmm.
traded that pick to Anthony. That's now the fifth
Mm-hmm.
pick in the draft. So Anthony's sitting there with your fifth pick in the draft, and that could
Mm-hmm.
be anywhere depending on how the rest of the draft goes. And we'll talk a little bit about the draft, but that's potentially That's potentially Kyle Pitts. It's possibly Devonta Smith. It could be Jamar Chase. It
Mm-hmm.
could be Najee Harris. Really, honestly, I think not to talk too much about the draft, the rookie draft, but I think really the only person that it couldn't be is probably Trevor Lawrence because he's going number one
Huh.
overall. But the
Yep.
rest of the players could fall in any crazy order. Crazy value at the number 5 pick there.
Yep.
I love me some Tua, but that one probably hurts.
Yeah, and I think, not to keep talking about trades or future trades, but I think that's why whoever wants Tua, I'm holding on to him. Oh, not because I paid a lot for him. Like I obviously knew what I gave up for him, but because I can see his potential. And we talk about how we root for different players, and Tua's Islanders, so I kind of have that. You know, I want to see him do good just because he's Islanders. So like
I,
like us. So
I hear you. I'm gonna skip topics. I'm gonna come back to these trades because this is the perfect transition. I put this together and this is special. If I can, here we
Special
go.
edition.
Yeah, special
Here it
edition. I don't
is.
do this for everyone. But why Brandon doesn't deserve Tua, but Tyler does, and this is extremely important. And if you get nothing else from this podcast, get this. Number one, I'm a Dolphins fan. I think that's important to know. Um, I've defended Tua to a fault for over a year. For over a year, I've been hearing about
hmm
how, especially since the season ended, and there was the Ryan, he gets benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick a couple of different times. Justin Herbert just like lights the league on fire, sets all the rookie
hmm
records, and Joe Burrow has a solid season, and everyone's like, "What is Tua? He is garbage." And it's like, actually, he's pretty solid. I've been defending him this whole time. I'm like, he went 6-2 as a starter. Yeah, he played reasonably well. Had like I think it was like 12 touchdowns and only like 2 or 3 picks. And of course, he, had that huge hip injury leading into the
hmm
draft. That's the reason why he fell to the Dolphins in the first place. He had the COVID offseason where he wasn't able to get into the coaching staff and the other wide receivers. So I've been defending him to a fault. Um,
hmm
Number 3, this is very scientific. I'm friends with Jeremy, who's from Hawaii. Tua is from Hawaii.
hmm
I'm pretty sure Jeremy told me that like Tua like lived down his family like lives down the street from him. So I
hmm
feel like I'm only like 1 degree away from that. So we're basically we're
So on
basically best
LinkedIn, that
friends.
makes you
Oh
like
yeah,
best friends, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If you're
yeah.
yeah.
looking at the connections
I
and
need to see
whatnot.
if I can connect with him on LinkedIn because I'm pretty sure I would imagine he'd be on it. And then number 4, also very important. If you recall years back, I don't know how big of a sports fan you are, a Miami sports fan. Nick Saban,
hmm
for a very brief time, I think a couple of seasons, coached the Miami Dolphins. I was still a fan there.
hmm
I was much younger then, but so I endured that where Saban had a lot of promise, and then he was linked to the
hmm
Alabama coaching role, and he had a famous press conference now where he said, "I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm not talking to Alabama. I'm the proud coach of the Miami Dolphins. If Alabama calls me,
hmm
I'm going to hang up the phone." Literally 2 days later, he's like signing the papers to be the Alabama head football coach. So hated him ever since. Meanwhile, while I'm rooting against him, he wins multiple national championships. Basically, creates like the most well-known college football program,
hmm
certainly over the last couple of decades, if not all time. And
hmm
meanwhile, I'm rooting against him this entire time. But he did extend an olive branch by recruiting Tua, mentoring Tua, and then now he's gifted Tua back to the Dolphins. So this is basically Saban's penance. He's come full circle. This is this
full
forgiveness
circle.
olive branch, and I just need Tua on my team. I don't even think he's going to lead my team to victory because he's just kind of so-so, and I'm going to have Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray. But I just want him on my team so I can root for him. And
Tyler, I think if you give the 101 and the 102, Brandon will right now. We can do this live. We'll trade you. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm sure he would.
Hey,
I'm sure he would.
all I'm saying is, man, like I knew what I had to give up for him to Johnny, and I did. So if that don't make me a Tua fan, I don't know what it is, because I could have tried to offer other things to other people, but I wanted Tua.
Yeah, Tyler, put your money where your mouth is. You got to pay up.
And I
I've
don't
already
look at
offered
stats
Brand.
too much.
To be honest, I think Brandon's probably getting annoyed with me with the trade offers that I send him for
Oh
Tua,
no,
but
no, no, no.
it won't. They won't stop, and
Keep them
eventually
coming.
keep them coming. Maybe eventually they'll get better. I've been kind of sprinkling in the Tua
What about
diet Tua light offers. I think maybe you'll get the full Tua offer at some point.
Justin
yeah? I
Jefferson,
mean,
Jonathan Taylor.
ooh, I
Ooh,
might. Yeah.
Ooh,
Mm.
ooh.
ooh, live
I mean,
on air. Let's make it
I mean,
happen.
you can ask Anthony. He'll send me trades, and I'll fire right back with if I don't think it's worth it. Especially Anthony. I feel like Anthony always got some kind of plan.
Hmm.
So like, I try to get the better of him, which never happens. But I mean, I always try to take him for all he's worth. So
I hear it.
I think
You know how you can tell if Anthony's trying to manipulate you? Is if his mouth is moving or if he's sending you a text. That's when you've got to be uneasy. As soon as he's trying to convince you of something, especially in fantasy
no, no,
football,
no, no. Tyler, it's
you
with
got to put your
with
guard
one
up.
eye. Come on, one eye.
Yeah,
So it's the wink nod
mouth is
smile when you see the
mouth is
face.
moving, the wink nod smile. He's got a lot of different methods. Just don't trust him. Don't trust him.
hmm
Okay, let's not spend too long on this. We've got a couple more, and then we'll kind of move on here.
Okay,
So
okay.
yes, Anthony.
Deshaun Watson, genius trade. Genius trade. Going to the next one. Saquon Barkley, though. I know you and I have talked a little bit about Saquon Barkley, but if anyone wanted to acquire him, what would they have to pay?
a lot, man, a lot.
He's
Because
the second or third overall player.
he's the future for me. I mean, besides Metcalf, running backs don't last too long, but I think it's been a while. It's been like 2 years since I had like a running back I can depend on, even though Saquon was out all last year pretty much. But I'm looking forward to just not worrying about my running back spot. So having Saquon there um is important to me. So
Okay, okay.
Just a lot. Got it.
yeah,
Um,
just a lot.
so you and I made another trade. Anthony and I had some good conversation around this one.
hmm
I still defend this one, but I would say at the very least it's a very even trade, and I think the fact that it's debatable, makes it
hmm
interesting. So you acquired DeAndre Swift and Irv Smith, and you sent me
hmm
Miles Sanders and Noah Fant. I'd love to
hmm
hear your thoughts on this because I've defended it to Anthony, but I also kind of recognize, the value, of course, that Swift has in particular, and then Irv Smith, his situation's gotten a little bit better now that he's the guy in Minnesota. But talk about that one a little bit.
Um so you were trying to get Noah Fant for a while, and I love Noah Fant, especially since like I picked him so low, and like I don't think a lot of people knew who he was. So he was kind of like my diamond in the rough.
Hmm.
And I think I had him in my two other leagues too. Like so I had him all three. And Miles Sanders, I think he was kind of injury prone or just got hurt. So like
Uh-huh.
I needed running backs. So because I think I was running what Daryl Henderson, it's like my number one at that point. So I needed Swift, and was that his rookie year or was the
It
year
was
before
it
his
was
rookie year?
no, this is his rookie year.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I was thinking on the young, like for the future, because at this point I'm like, I think I'm on the fence, or like I was already out of the playoffs, or at least I knew I was going downhill from there. So I was like all my trades from now on, I think I'm thinking of the future, like player wise.
Hmm.
So I got Swift and Irv Smith. I didn't know too much about him. I knew he's still young, and I knew he was like, um, what do you call that? Like a all around good tight end, like catching balls and stuff like that. So I knew he had potential, and since he was young, I was willing to make that trade. But mainly, my focus on that was Swift. Getting
Hmm.
him on my team
Hmm.
was most important at that trade. So
So I think I got Swift. I want to say I'm checking the draft right here. I did get Swift fourth, so he was my fourth rounder, so reasonably high.
yeah.
I took two rookie running backs. My whole draft strategy was going young. We're not talking about my team here, but I knew that
hmm
Swift definitely had a lot of value there. And
hmm
the reason I was willing to make that trade was at the time, and I don't think I still believe this, but like I said, overall I still defend the trade. At the
hmm
time, I actually felt like I was getting the better end of of both of them. I still think
Mm-hmm.
Noah Fant is better than Irv Smith, and I think
Mm-hmm.
everyone would agree with me there. But I also thought Miles Sanders was better than Swift. He was drafted higher, so Miles
Mm-hmm.
Sanders went for the in the third round, 3.1, and Swift went 4.6. And then in all of like the rankings that you read online at the time as well, he was also
Mm-hmm.
rated higher. So I felt really really good about that. And I just didn't believe in Swift. He didn't. I knew he had value because he was a rookie, but if you remember, Matt Patricia was the coach of the Lions at the time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Terrible coach. The
Yep.
Lions were absolutely terrible, and I just didn't envision, even though Swift was individually very good, I didn't envision the running back for the Lions being a player that I wanted. So that's why I was willing to move off of him. However,
Mm-hmm.
now that I think the coaching changes happened and maybe the Lions, did a little bit better in the second half of the season, I think it's pretty clear that Swift is probably either equal or possibly a little bit ahead of Sanders right now. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a tough one. I think the jury's still out, but that was my
Wait,
thought
Yeah.
how do you
process.
know Irv Smith isn't ahead of Noah Fant at the moment? Because so Kyle Rudolph, he went off to, I believe, the Giants.
Hmm.
Irv
Mm-hmm.
Smith's got the starting job apparently in Minnesota so far, and as terms of pure talent, Noah Fant, I would say, is above Irv Smith, no doubt. But who's throwing to Noah Fant?
Drew Lock.
Worst player of all time,
Drew
as far as I'm concerned.
Lock.
So even just like a quick CBS Sports ranking thing, Noah Fant number 6,
Drew
Irv
Lock.
Smith number 11. So, and I think they might replace Drew Lock. I think you might be seeing one of the rookies, Trey Lance or Justin Fields, or who knows? We might need to see some trades, so it's hard to say. But a lot of the rookie quarterbacks have been linked to Denver, so don't be surprised about an upgrade there. But even without it, I think Noah Fant's better than Irv
No
Smith.
rookie QB's done well though, except for Mr. Herbert. All right, everyone
Dude,
else has been mediocre. So
dude is a slinger.
Right. Joe Burrow had a good season before he got hurt. A reasonably good season.
mediocre.
Yeah.
Mediocre. I mean, he's number one overall pick. So, yeah, I think
I mean,
the.
he was getting chased down though. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, no, he was every time he dropped back, dude was gonna get sacked. He was running for his life out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the referees had to teach him how to slide and fall down.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, we'll get on the last trade really quick, and then we'll touch on just a few more things here.
Mm-hmm.
So your last trade was you traded a second rounder and Brandon Cooks for Baker
Mm-hmm.
Mayfield, so you got an additional quarterback there. Is Baker still on your
Yep.
team? I think he is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts there? You liking Baker?
He was doing good towards the end. Like I felt like he found his stride towards the end. I just I think at the time I got him for a trade value to try and get someone else. Because I don't know why I wanted Baker. Also Brandon
You
Cooks
hated
was a
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks was a poison. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted him off my team. For sure. And then so I got Baker and then I kept him. I think I offered a few trades to different people, no one wanted him. So I kept him and then he started doing good. And then I think I even started him like the last couple games, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
You know
But
what happened, right, Tyler?
What happened?
Baker lost the curse of OBJ and magically started performing.
This is
yeah.
true. This is true. I wasn't aware, but now that you presented me with this new information, I can see exactly how it all adds up. OBJ is a well-known curse. Whoever he's associated
Yeah.
with, whatever roster he's on, he curses that roster. So, good move. Good move.
Yeah, and I think I wanted that extra cushion at quarterback. I felt like having just two starters wasn't enough. I felt like I needed a third one. Um
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. So you're heading in. We're looking at your current roster right now. So you're heading into the season with a very strong running back pair. Saquon, probably the number
Mm-hmm.
one running back, and DeAndre Swift is somewhere in the top. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
7 or 8. So that's really strong. Metcalf is a top 5 wide receiver, dynasty wide receiver. Claypool had a great season, and then Corey Davis he's improved his situation. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Will Dissly at tight end. I'd say that's probably definitely a weak spot. Damian Harris is not too bad of a flex there. Quarterbacks, you've got Tua and Baker and Kirk Cousins
Oh,
and
bad.
yeah.
Well, I'll probably switch Damien. I don't know. I honestly, since the Seahawks lost their playoff game, I haven't even looked at sports. So
Mhm, mhm.
I'll probably switch that around. here shortly.
And then it looks like the
There
rest of the
are some
bench is a little
teams
light.
that are in need of QBs. I mean, if I were you, I may have sell one of those off just to acquire some other strength in other areas or get some more
Yeah,
depth.
I think I want more depth in wide receiver. I think that's my first one.
Hmm.
Yeah, wide receiver, maybe tight end. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited for sounds stupid, but I'm excited for Savon Ahmed. I don't know why, man. I feel like he's gonna
For
I
the
feel like
Dolphins, right?
yeah. Yeah. You
There's
want a
talk
pair?
about there's talk though about them getting a running back. So
Probably, yeah. Miles Gaskin. He's good, but he like I just feel like he's good at everything but not great at something, you know?
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah,
Um
they've got both of the Dolphins have both of the UW Huskies as their running backs right now, which is
yeah, I know that
interesting.
was crazy.
That is,
Yeah, I thought
yes,
that was
it's
sir.
just
crazy.
interesting. But yeah, they've been linked to upgrading at running back, possibly Najee Harris, um,
Mhm.
and then possibly like ETN in the second round. I think ETN probably will have to go into the second round. If a running back goes in the first, the only one that would probably go would be Harris, and the Dolphins
Mhm.
were one of the teams that they were linked to. But I've heard the Steelers for Harris and elsewhere as well. So maybe maybe Ahmed will still be relevant. We'll have to see.
Let
Okay.
me see here.
Any other final thoughts on your roster or anything? Or I think your bench is a little bit light. That's the one thing that I was going to
It
mention. So
is.
you've got an opportunity to improve that in the draft, but that might be a little bit hard since you're missing your first round pick. So you're going to be relying on your later picks. You've still got your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So really just missing your first one.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I'm not I haven't been in the sports mood for the last few months, so like I'll focus up here, I don't know, next couple months and see what I need to do, make some moves if I need to or rearrange the roster.
Hmm.
Take a look ahead in the draft and see. So, um and hey man, I know you love Tua and I'm open to trading him. But like he, and you offer me, draft picks, but like to me, like I hold players at a different value than just what you would read online or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Tua's what you said QB 20 to 25, but like I value his potential and I
Hmm.
like the guy, so like that's an added plus. So like if I'm gonna trade a guy that I like, I want to get something I feel is in good value. And just like Anthony tries to trade me for Saquon, and I'm like, okay, I'm willing to do it. It has to be good for me too, So
I appreciate that. And if there's anyone on
yeah,
the in the league that I would like to have Tua other than me, I'm glad that it's you. I'm glad that it's someone that defends him the same way and holds him near and dear to their heart. So I
oh yeah,
appreciate that.
Maybe
Um,
I'll trade Brandon Russell Wilson for two, and then find out
let
what the value is for two.
let's try to work out like the first like 3 team trade in the league. The Sleeper app
hey,
does have that
yeah,
functionality where you can do a three way trade, and that would
yeah.
be that'd be an exciting one to play off. You know, Anthony somehow gets to it, but then he gets shipped over to Tyler for such and such. Like we'll see. I don't know. For me, it's I'm trying to be logical with it in the sense of like I know what his value is. I'm also illogical in his
Hmm.
value because of all the bias reasons I have to want him to be better than he actually is. But I hope that I'm right that he can be good for all the exact same reasons. But I also like have to be realistic where I'm like I feel like I'm pretty set. He would be a backup for me, and it's good to have a good backup. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so Russell goes to Brandon, Tua goes to Tyler, and Lawrence goes to me. There we go.
well, I guess we'll just draw it up right after this. Well,
There we go. Right there, Tyler.
sharpen your pencils, boys. I'll
I,
send over the
I think
paperwork. Got it all figured out. Okay. Real quick, because we're already running a little bit long on this. Brandon, have you had a chance to take a look at any of the landscape for the rest of the league? Of course, you know Anthony won the league, but were there any teams that you can remember either through recent research or previously where you think they might be up and comers, contenders in the league? And more importantly, were there any teams out there that you think, man, I've looked at this guy's roster or this person's sending me trades. This guy's team sucks. Who are your contenders and pretenders?
I honestly I haven't been looking at the league, although I do think, and I thought this ever since the league ended. I do think you have a good team coming up, man. I'm just looking. You got Kyler Murray, Sanders, Jonathan Taylor. Like I think I wanted him instead of Swift, but you wasn't gonna give him up. Justin Jefferson, and then, yeah, Noah Fant, Jerry Judy. I think your team's super young, and like if they all perform, you'll have a good team for a while. Anthony got a good team. He got how you get Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. You got Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
how you
No,
get
wait.
both of them? Tyreek Hill, Deontay Johnson. Your running backs are light, but like, dude, you have Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. You don't. I don't even think you can need to play running backs. Like, you'll be fine. Um, your bench is kind of light, but that's all right. Um, I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at everyone else's, but I think you two have some pretty good rosters.
I mean, I got Julio Jones and Darren Waller on my bench, so
Yeah.
Anthony, how do you feel about draft? I saw this in the draft and I just noticed it now because Brandon drafted DK Metcalf. How do you feel about drafting Julio Jones a couple picks right before Metcalf? How do you feel about that?
Did I do that? Oh, I did do that. Yeah. I mean, I was going to go over this on my podcast, Tyler, but if you want to jump to that now, it's mistake made going over
What is
DK
that?
and AJ Brown. I was actually I was hoping to get AJ Brown on the turnaround, but someone grabbed it for me.
You got Calvin Ridley. It worked out.
I did get Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I feel like if I didn't get Metcalf there, he wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think last topic. Have you had a chance to do any research? I know you're missing your first round pick, so the big names maybe not in your range here, and of course you don't need to give up your targets or anything like that. But what do you think about this upcoming rookie draft? I think it's particularly loaded, kind of from top to bottom. Any general thoughts
Hmm.
on the rookies coming out, and any draft thoughts?
I don't have a what do you call that? A strategy. I'm just gonna go with like whoever's the best available talent. Whether it's I think it's gonna be a running back or wide receiver who I pick.
Hmm.
Um, or if there's a low if a quarterback falls that I value high.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might get a QB, to be honest.
Yeah. And if I do get a good QB, then I can trade one of my other ones, and then I don't
Mac
know.
Jones.
I don't think Mac
Yeah.
Jones will be available in the second
You don't think
round.
so? You
Well,
don't think
so
so?
so Brandon has the fifth pick, right? Because he's got the fifth pick in the first round, so he'll have the
Hmm.
first pick and all, and or excuse me, the fifth
Right,
pick
right,
and all
right.
the other ones.
Yep.
Um, I think Mac Jones will be gone. He could be gone in the first. I think there's a lot of there's
I think
obviously the
depending on
four big ones. There's Trevor
the landing
Lawrence,
spot.
there's Zach Wilson, there's Trey Lance, and there's Justin Fields. And I think that I would be surprised. I'm going to give it about a 90% chance that three of them are gone in the first round, and maybe like a 60% chance that all four of them will be gone. Because there's a lot of the teams that near the end, like 10, 11, 12, Jasper, Aaron, Chris, that could really use a quarterback. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think, obviously Trevor Lawrence is going high, Zach Wilson's going high, and then the rest of them depending on landing spot. Like, who are the 49ers going to draft? The 49ers draft Justin Fields. That's a very intriguing fantasy location for a mobile type quarterback. Someone could be like Lamar Jackson or, something like that. So could be worth a lot of points on a good team.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna I'll do my research more, like I said, when the time comes, but I'm just gonna whoever's the highest value at that point, just pick them. Running back, wide receiver, QB, and go
Just get
from
that
there.
value.
Hey, is that Mac Jones, the dude who was just bombing it down the field on his pro day? That's that guy, right? Or was that some who was who
Man,
was
they
doing
were
that?
all bombing it down the field in their pro day. So Mac Jones is the quarterback of Alabama. So he
I
was.
think it was Zach
Yeah.
Wilson. I think Zach Wilson was the one that was
Was
bombing
that
it.
BYU?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was Wilson. He
Mhm.
like did the the turn to your left and just throw off your back
The
foot too.
impossible. Your weight and momentum is taking you the wrong
Yeah,
way, and then you drop like that 65-yard pass, perfect on the hands. Incredible.
yeah. And when is their draft?
End of this month, the end of
29th,
yeah
I
29th.
believe.
I am great as someone who has 3 picks in the first round in our fantasy draft. I am very much looking forward to it. It's appointment
Wait,
television for
end
me.
of April?
End of
Yes,
April.
sir.
Oh shit. Okay. Dang. Okay. See, this is how lost I've been, man.
Time to
Okay.
dial in. All I do
I
every
do.
single morning is load up the ESPN clips and see what they're talking about the draft next. It's out of
Brandon,
control.
now you just send me your picks. I got you. I got you.
Nah.
No, you don't gotta worry about it. You don't gotta worry. I'll take the pressure off. Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, so the 29th. But are we drafting? That's after the NFL draft, right?
No, no,
That's the
no.
NFL draft.
Sorry, yeah,
We
that's
won't be
the NFL
drafting
draft.
until August.
Yeah, something like that in
Oh,
August.
okay. That's what I was at. That's what I thought. I was like, well, I thought we're drafting.
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
you
no.
said we're drafting at the 20. Okay, never mind. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
you
Yeah,
good.
you're good. You got some time. You'll be able to digest the landing spots. You'll have, 3 or 4 months worth of people writing about all of these rookies for you to be able to make good
Yeah.
decisions. You'll be good. You'll be good. To be
Yeah.
honest, I'm overdoing it. I think anybody who's consuming as much media about it as I am is overdoing it because it all changes after the draft. So I'm just wasting my time.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Zach Wilson right there. Justin Fields right. They rated him after him.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should wrap this up here. It's been almost an hour. It's been a pleasure, Brandon. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Hey, no worries. Yeah, it was fun.
Any parting thoughts? Any certain types of trades you'd be looking for? Anything to send to the masses before we sign off?
Hey man, I'm open to any kind of trade. I mean, only real person I really don't want to trade away is Metcalf. But I mean, if you want him, you got to pay for him. So I'm open to everything, man. As you can see, I had 11 trades, so I'm gonna do whatever. So
The league resident wheeler and dealer right there.
yeah,
All right. Well, thanks again both to Brandon and Anthony. We're gonna call it here, and thanks for anyone who decided to listen to this 56-minute epic. We appreciate it, and we'll be back with episode 6 in hopefully a couple of days. All right. Signing off. Bye.
appreciate it. Later.